Hey guys, this is Paul and Delia. We are in Cajamarca, Peru, and today is the 10th of February. So, this is a PowerPoint presentation I'm going to send you because we want you to see a little bit about what's going on and what we've been looking at. So, this is going to basically cover Marcobamba and some of the sites that we are looking at. Let me get this thing cranked up here. Okay, so what happened is, of course, we drilled a well down to 100 meters and did not find the amount of water that we wanted. There are two different professional companies with Chinese equipment that Gabriel hired that told us where they thought there was water and where they did not think there was water. And based on that, we chose a site. Uh, the community later brought in another professional with German equipment who basically contradicted 180% everything that the Chinese equipment said. So there's a lot of confusion. So we brought in Jaime yesterday with his divining rods. And so he looked at all of these sites again. And I sent an email yesterday that pretty much told you guys what it was that we found out. These are just the pictures that go with it. So you can basically see this for yourself. We actually went to the original borehole site yesterday twice, once to start off with in the morning. Then we went to the two other sites. I call them sites 2 and 3 at Marcobamba, and he tested them. And then we went back to the original site again and tested it again. And everything proved out exactly the way it was before with Jaime. That is, at the first site, we found the borehole place about 6 feet away from there was where Hyman said that the water is, not where we drilled, but about 6 feet away. And he found the water at 55 meters. The other two sites, basically, we found more water, according to Jaime, at both the other two sites, and both of them were right at about 60 meters. So here we go. This is Jaime at the original site. Again, we went once to start off with, and he found water about 6 feet away. And in this video, the water, the site he found, you'll see the bucket over on the right, the bucket sitting on the borehole that we actually drilled. And so he's now testing this site right here that's about 6 feet away, actually 6 or 8 feet away from the place that we drilled. And this is where he said there's water at 55 meters. Interestingly enough, when we go to site number 2 and site number 3 in Marcobamba, he says his rods indicate more water at those other sites than at this site. Looking at where the bucket is sitting, our borehole, he says it shows water, but not a lot. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow on the trigger here. In this picture, the bucket's been moved a little bit away from the borehole site, so it looks like it's further away, but it's still about 6 or 8 feet. You can see the little mound over there. Jaime basically showed us how he it is that, or how it is that he uses the rod to find out the depth of the water by counting the oscillations. And we very meticulously counted with him. This is the second visit in the morning to the same site again. We made him repeat the whole process. We saw how the rods definitely pointed to this place, no matter where he walked. and we counted again the oscillations, and it was 55 oscillations, which he says is 55 meters. So this is the second site now. It's about a kilometer away from the original borehole. And Hyman tells us there's more water at this site than there is at the original site. The Chinese equipment said there was no water here. Hyman says there is water here, according to his rods, and it's at about 60 meters. And you can literally count the oscillations. And I'm kind of a skeptical person or a skeptic, but I watched this happen over and over, and I saw the rods oscillate at 55 meters, at 70 meters, at other places, at 80 meters, at other places, and then it stops. And so this is the next two slides are from site number 3 at Marcobamba. And again, he said there was a higher presence of water at 60 meters at this site also. This site's much more centrally located, and it's right across the road down there from, you can see the pastor's house kind of behind Gabriel back there on the other side of the road. You can see our vehicle parked down on the roadside. And then we dropped off everybody and we ran with Jaime back up the mountain to San Pedro, that's behind the airport, up the mountain about 20 minutes. And we allowed him to use his rods to look at 3 different sites. And you see, the first was right where a community plans to build a church. It was 70 meters there. The second was further up the mountain, and there was a lot of big rocks and boulders up there at that location. It was 80 meters, and then the third was further down the mountain near where we met later in the afternoon with the Haas and with the water committee, and that was at 55 meters. So here we are at our meeting.
El pozo realmente lo que se piensa impactar quizás sea un medio metro, pero necesitamos tener el terreno de 10 por 10, como ya les mencioné en la reunión anterior, por tema de protocolo, por tema de estar en los estándares internacionales, ¿no? Ya después, si lo usan o no lo usan, ese cañito que va a quedar ahí, eso nos lleva sin cuidado a nosotros, ¿no? Pero ya van a tener una fuente que de ahí podemos.
So this is just a view from where we were meeting out towards Cajamarca, further down in the valley. This is from the church site, the first site. We're up here at San Pedro. You can see Cajamarca way down in the background. So this is Jaime testing that first site, and I think this is the one that came in at, I believe this was at 70 meters. And this is right square in the middle of where they're planning on building a church. You can see it's marked off there. ¿Cuánto? And then this is a second site further up the mountain. It's a little rougher up there, but it's, let's see. Here's Jaime basically checking out the depth. This one right here was at 80 meters.
Ochenta 80 metros.
And then this one is the last site further down the mountain near where we met with the Haas. And here's Jaime. This one actually came in at 55 meters.
50 metros, 50 meters.
50 meters. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing and talking a lot with Gabriel about these different locations at Marcobamba. We'd really like you guys' input. I think in the email I sent yesterday, I talked to you about the different options and what Gabriel thinks he would like to do. And so we'd love you guys to give us your input. So thank you much, and we'll keep you updated.